Evidence suggests that the Omicron variant is the most transmissible version of SARS-CoV-2 virus so far, and it seems better able at evading prior immunity, leading to high rates of reinfection. Cases of Omicron are doubling about every 2 days, and as the Omicron variant spreads like wildfire around the globe, we're faced with a serious dilemma. We're in the middle of the cold and flu season, and at the same time in the middle of rapid spread of the Omicron variant. So are those symptoms of runny nose, itchy throat, and cough the signs of a cold, the onset of the flu, or an infection with the Omicron variant? Join me as we take a closer look at these pressing questions. Early reports are that for most people, at least for those who are up to date on their vaccinations, Omicron variant infection leads to a mild illness that resembles the cold, the flu, or other coronavirus infections with cough, fatigue or tiredness, nasal stuffiness, or a runny nose. Because more people are now vaccinated compared to early in the pandemic, we should expect that the severity of illness caused by newer variants would be less due to higher levels of immunity. So that even if a variant is just as virulent, that is, causes severe disease just as easily as a prior variant, we can still expect the number of infections and the severity of illness to be less than before widespread vaccination. This is one possible explanation for the reports of milder illness given by some practitioners. But until we have more data on the infection in high-risk unvaccinated patients, we will have to consider those reports unproven. Nevertheless, there do seem to be a few striking differences between COVID-19 disease caused by the up until now dominant Delta variant and that caused by the new Omicron variant. The World Health Organization reported that 89% of those with confirmed Omicron variant infections in Europe reported symptoms that were common to other coronavirus variants, including cough, sore throat, and fever. The variant appeared to be spread mostly by people in their 20s and 30s and was diagnosed in people with all degrees of illness, from the asymptomatic to the severe, and even deaths were recorded from infections with the Omicron variant. Early reports based on the Zoe COVID study, which analyzed thousands of symptoms uploaded to an app by the British public, found no clear difference in the symptom profile between the Delta variant and the new Omicron variant. Their top 5 symptoms were runny nose, headache, fatigue, sneezing, and sore throat. In the US, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported that the most commonly reported symptoms linked to Omicron infections were cough, fatigue, and nasal congestion or runny nose. These were also the top symptoms reported for patients infected with the Delta variant. People infected with the Delta variant report symptoms similar to common cold, such as cough, headache, and fever, with the addition of significant loss of smell. The Delta variant also predominantly infected people who were unvaccinated. Britain's National Health Service, the symptom study team, found that only half of those infected with Omicron reported cough, fever, or loss of taste or smell. We must not forget that when looking at symptoms caused by different COVID variants, there are a lot of factors that need to be taken into consideration, such as vaccination status, age, and whether patients have other medical problems that may put them at high risk of developing severe disease. Despite the similarities in symptoms, fatigue and tiredness appear to be prominent complaints in cases of Omicron infection, and loss of taste and smell appear to be less common than with the Delta variant. There is also emerging evidence that the Omicron variant virus does not penetrate as deeply into the lung as prior variants. A study from the University of Hong Kong found that while Omicron is less severe in the lung, it can replicate faster higher up in the respiratory tract. Early data suggests that the time it takes for an infected person to develop symptoms may be shorter for Omicron than for previous variants, down from a full week to as little as 3 days or fewer. Although much is still unknown about the Omicron variant, it is believed that the virus can lead to long COVID even in mild infections. and even people who have asymptomatic infections are at risk of post-COVID conditions such as severe fatigue, irregular heartbeat, and other conditions even months after their initial COVID infection. Another striking difference between the Omicron variant and the Delta variants is the level of protection afforded by the current vaccines, which provided up to 90% protection in the Delta variant, but which seemed to provide far less protection in the Omicron variant, leading to high cases of reinfection and breakthrough infections. Researchers in Norway recently reported that among 87 fully vaccinated guests at a Christmas party who became infected with the Omicron variant, the most common symptoms were cough, runny or stuffy nose, fatigue, sore throat, and headache. Just over a half reported fever, while 23% reported a loss of taste and 13% had a decrease in smell. The cases had an average age of 38, and all reported a negative rapid self-antigen test taken at home or a PCR 1 to 2 days prior to attending the event. One case was asymptomatic, and 74 or 91% reported at least 3 symptoms. 42% reported mild to moderate symptoms, and 11% reported moderate to severe symptoms. Based on this Norwegian study, the Omicron variant appears to be highly transmissible even among patients who are fully vaccinated. The CDC reported on 43 patients who were diagnosed with the Omicron variant that 34 or 79% were patients who were fully vaccinated 2 weeks prior to getting sick, or who had had laboratory confirmed diagnoses of COVID-19, including 14 or 41% who had had a booster shot. Although it is possible to get an Omicron variant infection even if you're fully vaccinated, you're less likely to experience serious illness, hospitalization, or die. The symptoms of the Omicron variant make it impossible to tell the difference between an Omicron variant infection and the beginnings of influenza, or even the common colds in the winter, without testing. The only way to make a definitive diagnosis and to help stop the spread of Omicron is to get tested at the first sign of cough, fatigue, fever, sore throat, nasal congestion, or a runny nose. I hope you found this video useful and that you derived some benefit from watching it. If you did, like and share the video and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can receive notification when new videos come out. Until we meet again, thanks for watching.